Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. How are you today? All right, so it's another beautiful Sunday. It's another beautiful Sunday. To God be the glory. We thank Him for the privilege even to have this broadcast. Let me first of all say Happy New Month to us all. God has been faithful, keeping us through the first 10 months of the year. And we are here today, alive, doing fine. It's the first Sunday, the first day in the month of November. To God be all the glory. So, this is another episode of the Beautiful Branch Book Show. I'm trying to see if anyone is going to join us. Okay, I can see someone watching. All right, so if you're watching, kindly leave us a comment. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. I want to be sure there's no echo. Please, if you're watching, kindly let us know who is watching. Please leave us a comment before we go on. Who is watching? Who is watching? Yes, thank you. Success Okoro says it sounds good. All right. Thank you very much for joining us. It sounds good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us, for watching. We are grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so we'll just go straight to it. Today I have a wonderful guest. Oh, thank you so much, brother Sheye Abayomi Akanbi. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the encouragement too. Okay, guys, this is the third episode of the Beautiful Branch Book Show. Yes, it's a bi-monthly program. I've had two guests in the past, and my guest today is the third guest. Yes, it's the third guest. I hope you are not thinking that it's a women affair. Don't worry. My fourth guest is going to be a man. Yay! So the person coming after this is going to be a man, actually. All right. So today we'll be looking at the book titled "The Excellent Nurse." My guest today is actually a nurse. You know, I actually met her at my place of work. So from being colleagues to becoming flatmates, we were staying in the same flat, and then gradually we became sisters. Look at how God works. And then later, I worked on a book project, and here we are today. She's an author, doing very fine. She's an amazing nurse, actually. She's an amazing nurse. And I'm so privileged to have her on the show today. So thank you so much, Madam Beatrice, for agreeing to be on the show today, talking about your book. All right, so the first thing I'll do is to read our biography. Okay, so about her, let's get to meet her first before I start asking her questions about her book. I'm going to drill you today. I hope you are ready for me. I hope you can hear me, Beatrice. Can you hear me? Oh, it looks like our network is not doing very fine. Looks like our network is not doing very fine. Okay, I hope she will come back online soon. So basically, I'm trying to share the video. Okay, I'm waiting for her to come back online so that we can go on. Please be patient with us. You know how Nigerian network can be sometimes. Please be patient with us. Sorry about the break in transmission. I hope the network will allow her to come back soon. I'm still waiting for her to show up. I'm still waiting for her to show up. Well, you network, hear the word of the Lord, though. Behave today, please. Please behave. Okay, maybe I'll just go on and read her biography while she's trying to reconnect. Maybe that's what I'll just do. You can please share the video so that people can see from your wall too. I'm trying to share, actually. I'm trying to share on some other platforms so that more people can get to watch the video. I'm still waiting for her to come back online. Well, okay. I guess I will just go on to read her biography and hope that she joins me very, very soon. I hope she'll be able to reconnect soon enough. Okay, so Beatrice Ogiemwonyi is my guest today, and she's a native of Igbanke in Ogiemwonyi local government area of Edo State, South Nigeria. She was born into the family of Mr. and Mrs. John Ejime. Okay, let me try to add her right back. Okay, you're welcome back.
I'm so sorry. It's raining here.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just started reading your biography.
Okay.
All right. So, Beatrice Ogiemwonyi is a native. Sorry, trying to get the biography out. Okay, so she's a native. I hope I will not murder your hometown's, the pronunciation.
No,
okay, so she's
ahead.
a native. All right, she's a native of Igbanke in Ogiemwonyi local government area of Edo State, South Nigeria. She was born into the family of Mr. and Mrs. John Ejime. Yeah. Okay, thank you for helping me. Ejime. She had her junior and senior secondary education at Barakel Model College, Agbado, Okiaro, and High Standard School, Ifako, respectively, both in Lagos State. After her secondary education, she proceeded to Delta State University, Abraka, to study nursing science and became a registered nurse and midwife, and bagged a bachelor's degree in nursing in 2014 with a second-class upper division. Ever since, she has been into practice and has worked in various hospitals, with the most recent being Mountaintop University Medical Center, Ibafo, Ogun State. She has always had passion to pass knowledge through a book right from a very young age. She was able to put this together by harnessing the knowledge gained as a student of nursing in the university and her experience in clinical practice. She believes in excellence, and she's a living testimony to this, as she was always the best student in her class, right from primary school up till the university level. She's married to Henry Ogiemwonyi, and they are blessed with a daughter, Michelle. All right, so that's my guest. She's an excellent nurse herself. So I tell you for free, yes, that she's able to write this book. She is qualified to write the book. I can tell you for free because I've seen her work. I've seen her at a place of work relate with patients and stuff like that. So, yes. Thank you, Engineer Rabi, for joining us again today, and thank you for the encouragement. All right, so without
Thank you.
wasting much of our time, yes, without wasting much of our time, let's just get into it. First of all, I like to have my guests, share with the audience exactly, let the audience get to know you a little bit more. Apart from what I've read about you, based on your biography, your written biography, why exactly did you choose nursing as a profession? So why did you decide, okay, nursing? Why not medicine? Maybe you'd have become a
Okay.
medical doctor or something. So why nursing?
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Moshebi, for having me.
You're
This is a
welcome.
question that people always ask. They will say, Beatrice, you are so intelligent. Why did you choose nursing and not medicine?
Hmm.
There. And whenever they ask this question, I'll be like, can you hear me?
Yes, sure, I can hear you well.
Okay. I'll be like, well, everybody have their own reason for choosing a career. One
Mm,
of the reasons why I wanted to study nursing is because I have this passion to care. I have this passion to care. And like in my book, I stated it there that nursing is a calling. Everyone cannot be a nurse. You have to have this inborn uh, desire in you before you can care for patients. Nursing is
mm,
all about caring.
mm.
And apart from that, I remember when I was very young, at a very young age, I was still in primary school. Whenever we fall sick, my mother always take us to one nearby nurse. She is a Benin woman, a very intelligent woman. She will take us
Okay.
there to take treatment. She was one of the first person that, in fact, that, let's say, she made me desire nursing because of the way
Mm,
she attend to patients. Then if you go there, if we are going, the first thought that comes to our mind is the fear of injection. We'll be thinking it. There was a day my mother took me and my younger sister there. We had different complaints anyway, but when we got there, she played with us, smiled with us, and all that. The thought of injection just disappeared. We were at peace with her. And then she asked me what's the problem, what's the complaint. I started explaining and all that, and she was jotting it down. She asked my
mm.
sister. My sister said her own side of the mine was actually more of malaria because I was having fever, I wasn't eating, you know.
Okay.
And my sister, she was just she was stooling. So after giving our complaint, she wrote it down and she was writing some medication along with it. I was imagining, I was looking at her, I was thinking a different thing entirely. I was like, how is this woman able to put these things together? Like, this
Mm,
profession must be a very interesting profession. And it
mm,
must be something that you have to use your brain actually.
mm,
Because I gave some symptoms, I told her things that were happening to me. My sister gave her own. It looks similar, but it's not the same problem. And
mm,
this woman was able to put in things together. As she was bringing the injection, I asked her, I said, Ma, is it the same thing you are going to give my sister? She said no. So I was
mm,
imagining it inside of me that how is she able to put these things together? How is it possible that I will tell you my problem and you're able to provide solution? So from
mm,
that, nothing is about providing solution to problems.
mm.
From that day, I was like, wow, this profession is worth going into. A profession that can provide solution to problems, that can provide solution, a profession that require you thinking all the time, like using your brain at all
Mm,
time is something, is a challenge, a profession that it has to do with your mental ability, being at work at all time, putting your brain into use at every time. Critical thinking ability, you're able to provide solution by thinking something out. And also
mm.
is an interesting profession. That's another thing that attracted me to nursing. When you go into the
Okay.
world, you see so many things. If you visit patient in the hospital, even if you've never been sick, if you visit patient in the hospital, you will discover that you will see a case. Before you see another case. They may look similar, but they are not the same. It's an interesting profession. You see so many things. You see things that challenges you to study more. So these are some of the
Mm,
reasons. Something that is challenging, you know a profession that is very interesting. These are some of the things that push me to nursing. And above all, a profession that offers care to humanity, that provides solutions, that help people out of their problems. So these are some of the reasons why I chose nursing and not any other profession.
Awesome. Interesting. Yes. I actually love nursing too. Maybe because my mom is a nurse. I grew up with a nurse. She's a senior nurse too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I agree with you that nursing is actually an amazing profession. It's an amazing profession. And I'm glad to know a number of amazing nurses. Yes, and you are one of them. You are one of them. You
Thank
just
you.
like you
Thank you, ma'am.
mentioned, yes, just like you mentioned that um, nothing is a calling.
Yeah.
There are so many people that have found themselves in this profession, nursing. Like, okay, let me come straight. There are so many people that I know that traveled out of the country, and maybe they studied Greek or studied one other thing, maybe banking. They even study different kind of courses here in Nigeria. By the time they get to the UK, what did they go to study? Many people go out there to study what? Nursing. It's like the
Yes.
order of the day now. It's like
Yes.
everybody wants to become a nurse because it's a lucrative
Yeah.
job outside the country,
Hmm. Hmm.
giving the caregivers and all that. What do you have to say about this? I believe
Okay.
that many of these people is not as if they are called to do
Hmm.
this. So what advice
Hmm.
really would you give to people? Should they? It's not something that people can just go into. Maybe just because,
Hmm.
okay, if I study nursing now, if I go and study nursing in the UK or in the US, I would be able to, get permanent residency or something like that. Is that what it should be? Is that even ideal at all?
Hmm. 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 Okay, thank you very much. What you said is true. It's happening everywhere. You see someone, in fact, you see somebody even up to a master holder, like in another profession, traveling overseas, and before you know, you hear the person is studying nursing. You hear so many
Exactly.
times. In fact, even when I was in school, immediately I told people I'm a nurse, they say, "Ah, wow, just finish fast so that you travel outside the country, so that you can go
Mm-hmm.
and pack money for us." So a lot of people are going into the profession because of the monetary gain. Actually, it's true. Nursing is very lucrative overseas. There's job
Mm,
security. There's a lot of the money is worth it actually in the remuneration. But I won't advise anybody because that's risky. These are some of the things I address in this book. It's risky to go into a profession just because of the monetary gain, or
right.
because it's something that everybody is doing. You want to do it. Let it be born out of that desire to care for people. Let it be something that you have passion for. You know why?
Mm,
If you go into it because one is very lucrative, or a lot of people are in it and all that, and you don't have that burning desire, you will not produce excellence.
right.
You will care for patients, but you at a point you won't give in your best, and any small challenge you will get tired of it. There are a lot to see in nursing. There are
Mm,
a lot of things you will encounter. Do you know what it means for you to come in contact with patients, people you've not seen before? You see
mm.
yourself come in contact with their body fluid, their physics, their urine, their vomiters, and all
I
that.
can imagine.
If you are not born into it, if you are not called to be a nurse, at a point you can it becomes irritating to you. And that's why we see
Mm-hmm.
today there are a lot of reports of especially in African country, in Nigeria for instance, where they say nurses are harsh, nurses are rude,
Mm,
nurses are wicked, and all that. Some is
right.
because when you go into something you are not meant to be.
Mm,
When things are good, you'll be flowing well, but when things are not the way you planned it, you become frustrated, and you may end up pouring out that frustration on patient. The patient end up becoming the receiving end of it. So I won't
mm,
advise anybody to go into nursing when you know you are not called into it, when you know you don't
exactly.
have that passion to care for people, you are not tolerant, you are not compassionate, you are not empathetic. I won't advise you to go into it, because it will not be good on your own side. You end up going into the profession. At a point, you will see that reports that will be coming in from patients. You will be sad. One day you just get, or you may even go into depression, because you will care for patient, because you are not doing it with the way it ought to be done. The patient will not tell you thank you. The patient will become irritated, because the way you will speak to a patient, there is a way a nurse that is born, a nurse that is born to be a nurse. There is a way you speak to a patient. You speak to a
Right.
patient out of love. There's a way you look at a patient. You have this natural way of, you are very meticulous. You observe patient to the core. I could remember there was a story that went viral on social media. Was it last year? They said a woman brought a child for immunization, and the nurse was about to give the baby immunization. She noticed that the baby was not breathing. She noticed that no life in the baby, and she told the mother, "Madam, wake your baby before I give this injection." The mother was like, "No, nurse, go ahead. It's even better that this baby is sleeping, so that the baby will not cry." But the nurse insisted. He said, "Please, madam, wake up your baby. I don't like giving injection to babies when they are sleeping." She has observed, she has used the eyes of a nurse to observe, to see that this is wrong. Something is wrong somewhere. And the mother kept waking this baby, waking. The mother was carrying the baby on the lap. She never knew the baby was dead. Wow. It was from there she noticed that the baby was dead. Now, imagine if that nurse was not careful enough, was not observant enough. She would have just go ahead and given the baby injection, and they would say the nurse killed the baby, the injection killed the baby. So nursing is a profession that you shouldn't just go in because you want, because of money, or because everybody's doing it, or because it's a beautiful profession and all that. The risk involved is more than anything else.
Right.
It can cost you your license, it can cost you your own life. And if you make a mistake, for instance, in the course of caring for a patient, and the patient dies, a part of you have died. Because for the rest of your life, you will keep thinking that it is because of my mistake that led to the life of what? To the loss of that patient. You are there to save, not to kill. So it is not advisable. I won't advise anybody to go into that profession when you are not called to do so.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is the truth. You have just hit the nail right on the edge.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you well.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, guys. Please, can you hear us from your hand?
Hello.
I guess our network is acting up a little bit. Okay, so we have heard it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Adegbite Lara. Thank you very much for letting us know. Okay, so I believe it's our network. It's our network. I will let her back in once she comes back. So we've heard it. Nursing should not just be, an escape route. It shouldn't just be an escape route. It should be something you are called to do, something you are passionate about. You don't just go into nursing or any profession for that matter, just because maybe you are intelligent or you are, I don't know, you just like the fact that, nurses are sassy, always looking cool, looking nice and stuff like that, and then they earn a lot of money. That shouldn't be your motivation to, go into nursing. So I hope that people will learn from that. I'm so sorry. Please be patient with us with the network from our hand. I think it's not doing very well, but I believe she will join me right back very, very soon. Very, very soon. So if you have any question, you can please type in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Let me just do a little bit of shout out while I'm waiting for her to come back. Thank you, Success Okoro. Thank you, Akanbi Olusheye. Thank you, Engineer Rabiu. Thank you, Ojekunle Ikeolua. That's another amazing nurse. Thank you, Success Okoro. Okay, yeah, I already mentioned your name. Thank you, Faith Azubuke. Adegbite Lara. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying with us, and thank you for your patience, and every other person that is watching that hasn't left a comment. So I'm still waiting for my guests to come back right in. But I tell you, I actually had the privilege of working on this book. Yes, The Excellent Nurse. I read through it a number of times. I've had the opportunity to just go through the book, and I can tell you for free that the book is an amazing book. Okay, you're welcome back. Can you hear me now, Beatrice? Well, looks like our network is not very strong. The signal from our hand is not very good. Wow, Lord Jesus, have mercy today. And this is one amazing book we need to talk about. The Excellent Nurse is not just for nurses, actually. Like I was saying, I had the privilege of going through the book, working on
Thank
the
you, but
book.
it's echoing.
Okay, from your hand.
Okay, yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear
Sorry,
clearly
this is
now?
the network. Nigeria,
Yes,
the network.
I've been apologizing on your behalf. Oh. So you're welcome back. Can you hear me now? Wow, the network is not very good from our hand. Ouch. Okay, can you hear me? She's there, but it seems she can't hear me well. Okay, so we'll try as much as possible to keep this short so that we'll be able to manage the time because of these network issues. Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Beatrice, can you hear me? It's like there's a time lag between when I
Yes, I can
speak
hear
and.
you.
All right, so I'll just shoot the next question. Why did you decide to write a book?
Oh, thank you so much.
Why
Thank you
did
so much.
you
The
decide
network
to
is
write a
something
book?
else here.
Yeah, so why did you decide to write a
Very
book? And
sorry, oh.
no problem. So I hope you have heard the question. Why did you decide to write a
Thank
book, and how has the journey been like?
Yes, I can hear you. Although it's I can hear echo, like it's echoing.
Um,
But I think
please,
it's better.
guys, is it echoing from your hand? Please let me know if it's echoing from your hand.
Can you
If
hear
not, it
me?
might just be because of it. I can hear you, Beatrice. There's a time lag between when when I speak and when she hears me. Wow. God bless Nigeria. These network
Can you
issues.
hear me?
Okay, all right. Yes, I can hear you, Beatrice. Thank you so much. Success. Okay, so it's not echoing from their hand. Okay. Yes, connection is a problem. I think she's been cut off again. She's been cut off again. She's been cut off again. I hope she'll be able to join back. This is one interesting topic. This network, behave yourself, oh, behave yourself now. I've been looking forward to discussing this book with Beatrice. You know, it's one amazing book, and for a first time author, she put in so much value into the book. I can tell you for free. It's one loaded book, very amazing. She touched on so many aspects of nursing, what's expected of nurses, your rights as a patient. It's just one good read. It's a good book, a book everybody should read. So even if you're not a nurse, the fact that you are, maybe you have to go to the hospital at one point or the other for one thing or the other, you need to get a copy of this book. If you are a practicing nurse, you need to get a copy of this book. If you are a student nurse, you need to get a copy of this book. I'm telling you, nursing etiquette, what is expected of you as a nurse, and how exactly or what exactly you should be doing to ensure that you are truly an excellent nurse. I believe we all know what excellence is all about. Going the extra mile, doing it very well, doing whatever you are doing very well, and you can be an excellent nurse. So while I'm still waiting for her to come back, I've had my own fair share of experiences with nurses. I'm telling you, I've had my own fair share of experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, all shades. Yes, like I mentioned, I was born by a nurse. Okay, my mom is a nurse, and I saw, her treat people right. I saw the way she related with her patients. I saw the way patients would meet her in the market and they would be like running after her. That's our mommy. Because she has always been nice. Yes, she has always been nice to her patients and stuff like that. So she had so many people just trying to flock around her. She meets people in the hospital and she treats them with respect. Okay, so because she's a nurse, I didn't really have the reason to go to a hospital. I can't remember even going to a hospital throughout my growing up age. Okay, so when I grew up and I had to leave the house, the first experience I had was in boarding house. Okay, while in secondary school, and there was this nurse that was just so sassy, so so I don't know. I don't even know the word to use for her. She was not caring at all. She didn't care. And I was like, wow, what is this? This is a complete contrast from what I am used to. This is a complete contrast from what I am, I have seen all my life. And my mom used to tell us a lot of stories about what they told them in nursing school, what they were trained to do, how they are trained to talk to people, how they are trained to relate with people. And the truth of the matter actually is that this issue of having nurses that don't really care is not something that just happened or that just started now. It is something that has happened or that has been since a long time ago. So I hope the network will let you stay this time around, Madam Beatrice.
I think so.
Okay, you're welcome back. So I was just using the time to share my own experience. Okay, my experience with the contrast between seeing my mom being a beautiful nurse, an excellent nurse, a caring nurse, and going out of the home to hospitals and clinics, and then meeting really wicked nurses. I'm telling you, I've seen wicked nurses. I've seen all shades of you people.
Yes.
All right, so you're welcome back. So that was what I was actually sharing. I've seen all shades. Okay. So you're welcome back. All right, so I was trying to ask before the network threw you out.
I'm so sorry.
No problem. Okay, so
yes, I'm so sorry.
Why did you decide to write a book? It's rare for you to find someone, maybe like a medical doctor, a nurse, writing a book and stuff like that. But why did you decide to write a book? And it's actually two questions in one. Why did you why did you decide to write a book? Number one. Number two, how has the journey been like, or what was the writing journey like?
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, I can hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank God. Okay. For the first one, why I decided to write a book? Where I have this passion right from time to always pass knowledge across to others. It has been something that I love teaching. I love, putting people through something that I know. I want to pass it across. And the best way for me is through book. Book is one of the ways you can communicate to people. And actually, what inspired me, what made me decide to write about nursing, is because of just like what you said. There are a lot of things that have been going on in nursing profession. You hear so many stories, you hear so many things, you hear so many reports. Today you hear that one nurse did so thing and all that. So the society is confused about who a nurse really is, who a true nurse
Mm.
is. The quacks among us, the so-called auxiliary, there are so many that people mistake them for qualified nurses. So when somebody
Mhm.
do something, as long as the person is white uniform, they conclude that is a nurse. And this thing is something that whenever I think about it, I feel very bad about it. So I've been thinking, how can I pass information across to people? How can I let them know that yes, there are nurses, and as in there are true nurses that are different from the one that is being portrayed in the society. There are
Mm.
people that are indeed called to be nurses. There are people that are caring, that are loving. Not every nurse that is wicked, you know.
Mm.
So I thought of how can I pass this information, and I came up with the idea of a book. It's one of the fastest means through which people can get information. It mustn't be the
Right.
hard copy something. You can read up anything. You can get the soft copy. You can read anything online and all that. So I decided that okay, the best medium through which I can pass information about who a nurse is, how to differentiate a nurse from a quack, how patients
Mm.
can get to know their rights, and so many things and all that. So many information embedded in this book, The Excellent Nurse. So I decided to use the medium of a book to pass the information across. And then for the second one, the journey was not easy. I've been having this thought from a long time, but how to start it was my problem. And I was like, do I need to be a PhD holder first before I can write down something? Until I met someone like you. You've made so much impact in my life. And after speaking with you, you encouraged me and all that. That was how I started. It wasn't easy, you know. And when you are writing, an idea will just pop up your head. So what I do, I will just, oh, okay, you are welcome back.
Yeah,
You're
thank
welcome
you.
back.
It's my turn.
When at times, yes, it's not your turn. So
I
at times
wonder.
when an idea comes to my mind, an idea will just pop up my mind. I will just put it down so that I will not forget. That's one thing that helped me a lot. I can be in church, I will be listening to a message. Something about my book will just come up. Something about the book will just an idea will just come to my head. The next thing I'll do, I'll just put it down. That was how I
Mm.
was able to put up the book together. And in the process, I became pregnant. I know I became as I was pregnant, I became very lazy. At times, I get tired. Even to write a line become a problem. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and before here we are today, I have produced the book. I thank God for everything. It wasn't
Hallelujah.
easy, but it's worth it.
Thank you. And let me say congratulations again. It's actually a
Thank you,
major feat.
ma.
Yes, it's
Thank
actually a
you,
major
ma.
feat. All right.
Thank you,
So
ma.
let's go a little bit into the book. What are
Okay.
some what are some unnegotiable attributes that a
Okay.
nurse should have? There are
Okay.
some things we can't all be the same. Some people are more patient than some
Yeah.
other people. Some people are naturally more
Yeah.
caring than some other people. Some people are naturally more empathetic than some other people. But what are some attributes that a nurse must have or should have?
Okay. Okay. Some of the attributes I in my book, I think I wrote about 30 attributes. They may not be
Mm.
just that, they are more. There is something you cannot exhaust. But some that I think that every excellent nurse should have. One of them is determination. Every excellent nurse must be determined to produce the best. No, hello, you've gone off. Okay, but can others hear me? Some of the attributes, one of them is determination. You have to be determined to produce the best. You have to be determined to succeed in anything you are doing. Like the story of that girl, was it 9 years old, that came on social media? Okay, you are welcome back.
Thank you.
It's not your turn. It's
It
not your
is
turn.
well.
So I said one of the attributes is determination to succeed, determination to always produce the best. I don't know if you remember of the story of that young girl that was seen at the ATM using the reflection of the ATM light to read. I think a girl of
Oh,
like
yeah.
9 years
Yes,
of
yes,
age.
yes.
The story
I
came
think
up
I
social
remember.
media either late last year or early this year. And somebody approached her and asked, young girl, what are you doing? Imagine a girl of like 9 years. You remember? Yes. A
Mm-hmm.
girl of like 9 years was asking her, what are you doing? She said she's reading, using the reflection of light from the ATM machine. And
Mm.
the person was amazed, was like, wow, at this age, you could be determined to like excel. And he asked her, what do you want to become? She said she wants to become a nurse. When I read
Mm.
that story, I was amazed, as in so interesting, and I was so impressed because for such a girl, you will know that this one will produce excellence. It's not
Mm.
negotiable. There's no two ways about
Right,
it. If at that
right.
age, if some children at that age, there's no light, they'll just go and sleep. So one
Mm-hmm.
of the attributes of an excellent nurse, you must be determined to produce the best. You must
Yes.
always have this mindset that, yes, if I'm nursing a patient or I'm lecturing students, I must do it with all my heart. I must give him my best. Another attribute is you must be perfection driven. It's not just doing
Mm.
something, but doing it well, doing it in the right way. You must be very meticulous, you must be very careful, you must be very observant. Like I've
Mm.
shared the story of that nurse that noticed that the baby on the mother's lap was already dead, even when the mother could
Mm.
not notice it. You know, if you've seen engineers worked, electrical engineers, if they are working with electricity, working with current, if you notice, they are always very careful. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
why they are very careful? Because they know that any mistake is their
Mm-hmm.
life it will cost.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
understand? Whenever they are working with
Mm-hmm.
current, they know that if there's any mistake, their own life will be affected. So they are extremely careful. Every excellent nurse ought to be like that. Fine, it's true. When you make a mistake in the process of caring for a patient and the patient dies, it's not you that actually died, but in the true sense, you are the one that died. If you make
Mm.
a mistake in the process of caring for a patient and the patient loses his or her life, don't think, oh, well, it's every normal thing. No, a part of you
Mm.
have gone, because for the rest of your life you keep remembering it. You will think about it that, oh, I had every opportunity to save this person, but
Mm.
I was negligent and my
Negligent.
mistake have cost a life. So the way an electrical engineer is always very careful, very meticulous when they are working with current,
Mm.
that's how a nurse ought to be very careful with lives. God decided to commit human lives to your hands. You are not there
Mm.
to care for plants, birds. You are
Uh-huh.
caring for human life, the same
Yeah,
life God
exactly.
made in his own image. So you are supposed to do it with every care. You should handle life with care, the way you handle raw egg. When you are
Mm.
holding a raw egg, you are always very
Right.
careful, because if it fall off from your hand, that's the end. That
Break.
egg is gone. No matter how beautiful that egg is gone. So also you are supposed to be very meticulous. You are supposed to be very careful when caring for lives. Another attribute is that an excellent nurse ought to be very organized. You should be
Mm.
very organized to the core. You should be organized even up to your workplace. If you are to you are if you resume work, immediately you take over from your co-nurse, the next thing you have to do, you have to organize, put everything in order, because
Mm.
emergency can come up at any time. It's not at that time that you
Right.
are trying to save life that you start looking for where you kept swab, where you kept
Mm-hmm.
spirit, where you kept scissors and all that. No, it
Mm.
should be something that you should have known where these things are kept, because a minute, there's a thin line between life and death. A
Yes.
little mistake, little delay can cost human lives. So you should be very organized. Another thing, you should put in this creative mind. You should have this creative mindset. You know, at all times, you should think of something. How can I do to make this thing better? You have
Mm.
cared for a patient today, and you've seen this is how it went. Think of something else. Is there any way I can do it better? Is there any way this thing can be better approached in such a way that this patient recovers faster?
Mm.
Do you understand? So,
Right.
you should have this creative mindset. You should think of things, innovation and all that. An excellent nurse should always think of something you can do to bring in better results. Now,
Mm.
another thing, at all time, you should respect the rights of the patient. An excellent nurse is that person that respect the rights of the patient. You don't
I like
trample
that
on
one.
patient because they are sick. You feel they are helpless. You think you can talk to them anyhow or march on their rights. No, You are there to help them. You are there to uphold their rights. You should respect them for who they are. There's something they taught us in nursing while we're in nursing school. They will say no patient by their name. Don't just see and say Mr. Lagbaja, bed number, so. No. Imagine you were in their shoes. How will you feel when they just call you by a bed number? No. Because you see them as every other person. They are only helpless at that time. They won't be helpless forever. And you should be privileged. You should thank God that it's a privilege actually for you to help someone at a helpless state. So you should do it with all joy and gladness of heart. You should try as much as possible. Yes, do it. Do care for them with joy. It's not easy. It's not, for somebody to just commit his or her life to your care. You should do it with everything in you. And an excellent nurse should always be ready to upgrade. You should try to improve academically. Imagine you are caring for lives. So it's something that you need to, put in your best. You should check out, read, study to know things that, there are some procedures that have changed over time. You shouldn't be the type that will keep working with the old one when we have moved, when maybe there are new procedures, there are better way to care for patients. Every of your desire should be to make sure that you do things better than the way you met it. So an excellent nurse should be is the person that has this mind to always upgrade, to always improve academically, update your knowledge. Let me use that word. You should learn to update your knowledge at all times. And again, this passion to care should be part of you. Do it with all passion. You should have this burning desire. There's a way you will speak to a patient. A patient maybe wants to take an injection. There's a way you speak to that patient. It will look as if the whole pain has disappeared, the whole problem has gone. But there's a way you also speak to that patient. It will look as if you've increased the patient problem. An excellent nurse is not that kind of nurse that increase patient problem. You lessen patient problem. You help them in recovery, not to worsen their problem. Even if the patient will die eventually, it should be a peaceful death, not a wicked one, not a regretful one, not a painful death. So an excellent nurse is that person that helps to improve lives. You should be somebody that helps to improve life. And again, you should apply critical thinking skill. You should be critical, as in you should think very fast. You should be the kind of person that you are not slow. You are not slow in taking decision, because yes, you should be the type that you think very fast of what to do. You should be smart. You should be very smart, and your words seasoned with grace. When you are talking with patients, your words, it should be seasoned with grace. Let your work produce excellence itself. You should be the type that is very organized. When you present yourself before a patient, when they see you, let them see hope. Let them see hope in their situation. You should not be the one that will add to their problems. You are to give them hope. You shouldn't be the type that when the patient tells you a problem, say, oh my shit, this is a pity. No, you should give them hope. You should help them to recover fast. So there are so many. There are so many.
Yes,
so many. And again, an excellent nurse, you should be able to mentor others to be better than you. An excellent nurse is the type that help others to succeed, to be better than you. When I mean others this time around, is your fellow nurses. Imagine you are an HOD of a department, and anytime you are going on leave, you are panicking because there's nobody to keep the department running. You cannot call yourself an excellent nurse. Or you are a ward manager, for instance, and you are about going on leave. You are fidgeting because the ward is going to be so disorganized. You are not an excellent nurse. You should be able to produce excellence. You should be able to help others, the people that are working with you at that stage. You should mentor them well, so that when you are not around, everything will go on smoothly. Everything will be very smooth. That's how it ought to be. I remember my matron I worked with in Mountaintop. While we are working, she's this kind of person that even if she's going to be away for 2 seconds, she's already telling you something. Please, in case I'm not here, this is how you should do it. This is how you should do it. Because she doesn't want anything to go wrong. That is how every excellent nurse should be. It should not give you joy that yes, you are the only one that know how to do it well. No, your ability to carry others along make you an excellent nurse. Your ability to carry other nurses along with you. your ability to, do something in such a way that others are able to learn from you. And if you are
Mm-hmm.
not there, they will produce it almost exactly the way you're able to do it. So these are
Mm-hmm.
some of the qualities, some of the attributes of an excellent nurse.
Wow, thank you so much. I hope people that are trying to, go into this profession will
Hello.
hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It seems there's a time lag between myself and
Okay.
ourselves because of the network. Okay, so I believe that all these
Yes.
attributes, yes, whether you're a practicing nurse or you're someone that is planning to go into this profession of nursing, these are things that you should, you know, imbibe. These are attributes that you should imbibe. These are characteristics you should have. And I pray that God will help our nurses because
Amen.
our baby is crying. We'll soon round off. Okay, so yes, she's telling us that we should round off. We'll round off. Okay, so quickly, let's just talk about what's your target audience? Who are the people that should read this book? Who are the people that should read this book?
Okay. My audience actually is everybody. Everybody will benefit from the book, because
Right.
if you are not a nurse, you will have someone as a friend that is a nurse, a sister, a brother, a family member, a relative, and all that. And let's assume you don't have anyone that is a nurse. You, one day, you will be a patient, whether I like it or not, even if it's headache. Okay, let's assume you never fallen sick in your life. You may be pregnant or your wife may be pregnant. Something, one
Exactly.
way or the other, will bring
Right.
you in connection with nurses. Something will bring you in close contact with nurses. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone needs this book. The nurses need it. They need to be encouraged to continue giving their best. For those
Right.
ones that maybe have some questionable character, after reading this book, they can adjust. We are all learning.
Yeah.
Some do these things not because they want to be wicked. It could be out of frustration. It could be, nurses are not well remunerated in Nigeria. The pay is so poor. At times, when you think about it, if you are not called to be a nurse, you will just become angry unnecessarily. And
Mm-hmm.
the stress, you will see a nurse managing 30 patients. You know what that means? The whole
Exactly.
the whole
Exactly.
day you are restless, you are tired, in
Exactly.
fact. So
Yes.
only that alone, this one is calling you, this one is calling you. The frustration alone, the stress is enough for some nurses to kind of act otherwise. But reading this
Mm.
book will help you. You will see how you'll be able to manage yourself, how you can comport yourself. Now, for
Right.
the
I agree.
patients, when you also read this book, you will see what you are expected to get from your nurses. There are so many rights as a patient that you should not just be trampled on. So when you are in the hospital and maybe a nurse or any healthcare giver is trying to march on your rights, trying to shut you down, because you know your way, you know your rights, you know what is expected of every nurse that is caring for you to do for you. You can easily stand up and and speak up. So the
Yes.
book is for everyone. It's for everyone to benefit everyone.
Yes.
Your baby is
I agree. I agree. I actually said that earlier. Because our baby is crying, we're going to round off. We're going to round off right about now because she needs to eat. Yes, our baby needs to eat. So we need to go and nurse our baby. Okay, so how can people get this book? How can people get the book as we're rounding off? If
Okay.
you have any question for my guest, please
Okay.
put it in the comment section so that she can quickly answer before she leaves. Okay. Yes. So how can people get
Okay.
the book?
Okay. For now, there's no hard copy available except on Amazon. So if you are in Nigeria, the only way you can get it is through the soft copy. I have the soft copy, and I have a link through which you can get it. You can equally pay directly to my account, and I will send the soft copy to you. There's also a link I can send to you. You can chat me up. If you don't have my contact, you can chat me up on Facebook Messenger. I will relate
Right.
with you on how to get the book. But if you're outside the country, the book is on Amazon. I have the link also. You can chat me up on how to get the book. It's on Amazon, both the soft and the hard copy.
Yes, please. So you can just search for her on Facebook. Our Facebook name is Beatrice Ogiemwonyi. I think
Beatrice
Beatrice
Ejime
Ejime, exactly,
Ogiemwonyi.
Ogiemwonyi. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, and I would, she would also, will leave all the details in the comment section too after this broadcast. So, thank you
Okay.
so much for joining me. But before you go, a
Okay.
final word for,
Okay.
you know, for nurses, a final word
Mm.
for patients, and
Okay.
what you think the system, the
Mm.
Nigerian system, what can be
Okay.
done to make life
Mm.
easier for nurses, you know,
Okay.
what can be done just to make it
Okay.
better? Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. To my patients, virtually everybody is a patient. If you have ever
Abi?
fallen sick, you will know that you are a patient. I was once
Right.
a patient. Even when I was pregnant, I was a patient in the hospital.
Exactly.
Um, every patient at the stage where you are in the hospital, don't see it as the end of the world. No, it's just a phase that will pass. And please, as a patient, try and relate with the nurses peacefully. You will get the best from us. We're actually loving people. Nurses are loving, nurses are caring. Although we know we have some bad
Some
eggs
of you.
among us, we cannot. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Mashevi. Many nurses are wonderful. Many
Okay,
nurses are
many are,
caring.
but there are some of them that are not very nice.
Yes, yes. There are few ones among us that are not so good, that are not so nice. But
Mm,
so those ones, I think what we need to do for those nurses that that have one issue or the other with patient, all they need to do, they first of all they should accept when a patient tells you, nurse, this thing you did, I don't like it, or somebody complains about your character as a nurse. You shouldn't just see it as every normal thing. Shebi I'm alive, they can talk about me. No, you should look
mm,
at it, look into it, as a nurse, because you may think you are doing the right thing, you may not be doing the right thing. You may think the way you have answered that patient was the best way. It may not be. It may be that the
right.
patient is hurt. So try as much as
Mm,
possible to have a listening ear as a nurse. Try to have a listening ear. Listen to your patient. Don't always see that every patient is rude. No. And again, remember the patient is going through a lot. If you have just simple pain, as simple as pain, even if it's headache, you see how you feel at that time.
mm-hmm,
So there's this word we use, empathy, putting others in your shoes. If you can
mm,
put others in your shoes as a nurse, you will not get offended when patients act the way you never expected them. Just see that it's okay, it's that situation, that condition that is making them act that way. Now, for the government, you need to help us. It is not easy. Nurses are going through a lot in this country. The stress is too much. The working environment at times is not encouraging. The pay, the remuneration is so poor. The government need to help us. They need to increase our pay. Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, you need to help the Nigerian nurses. You need to fight for us. You need to table our matter before the government. They need to upgrade nurses' salary. They need to help us to upgrade nurses' salary. Thank you very much. I love you all.
thank you very much for coming on the show. Yes, I love nurses. Oh, forget. I was
I will
like,
love
I
you.
yes, I have met amazing nurses. Like I said, my mom is number one.
Yeah.
You are another amazing nurse I've met. I've met so many amazing nurses. To be
Thank
factual,
you so much.
yes, to be
Thank you
factual.
so much. Thank you
Um,
for having me. Thank you for having me. I
Yeah, so
appreciate it.
thank you so much for coming on the show. God bless you real good. So
Thank
before
you.
we close for the day, I would just like
Okay.
to let you know that this is a show that goes on every 2 weeks. Okay, so it's a
Okay.
bi-monthly program. I'll be having
Yeah.
another amazing guest in another two
Okay.
weeks. This time around is
Okay.
going to be a man. That's going to be my first male guest on the
Wow.
show. Yes,
Wow.
and we'll be having an amazing time to the
That's
glory of
good.
God. Yes, so
Wow.
thank you all for showing up. Thank you very much for staying with us on the show. If
Okay.
you
Thank you.
are planning to become a nurse, you should get a copy of The Excellent Nurse. If you are a nurse
Yeah.
in training, if you are a practicing nurse, or you know somebody who is a nurse, even if you don't fall into any of those categories, just the fact that you might have the reason to visit an hospital or a clinic sometime, you should get a copy of this book. I'm telling you, this book is loaded. It's not a 20-page book. Oh, like when she even came up with the book, I was like, wow, this is a whole lot. Yes. And there's nothing in the book that you would say, oh, this is irrelevant or something. It is just a holistic book, something that speaks to the patients, to nurses, to everybody. And my favorite part of the book is actually your rights as a patient. Yes, I love that part. So everybody should get a copy of that book. You need to know your rights as a patient. You need to know everything that has to do with nursing and stuff like that. Thank you everyone for joining us right again. Thank you so much, Beatrice. Thank you, Michelle, for being patient with us. We are rounding up now so that you can go and have your evening meal. All right.
Okay.
So thank you everyone that joined us.
Any
Yes.
any question? Any question? Check if there's
I
any
didn't see
question.
any. I just
Okay.
checked. There's no question. If there's any
Okay.
question, you can always leave it in the comment section so that we'll keep checking, and then we can
Okay.
answer you can
Okay.
answer all the questions later. All right. So
Okay.
have an amazing week ahead. Have an amazing month ahead. Bye everyone. Until next time.
Bye.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.